In this video, we're going to dive into the story of the greatest and best sailor of all time, an absolute legend who redefined the limits of what's possible on the water. His skill, courage, and vision pushed him to achieve extraordinary feats, overcoming storms and defying the impossible. Throughout this video, we'll uncover the secrets behind his greatest victories and the pivotal moments that turned him into a maritime icon. Every maneuver, every choice, every decision made on board had a profound impact. And now we're going to explore those details, showing you how he made history. Imagine the feeling of being at the helm of a boat, facing the highest waves and the strongest winds, with the confidence of knowing exactly what to do. We'll take you on a journey through the tactics that made this sailor a worldwide reference and teach you the principles that shaped his legendary journey. So get ready, because this content is packed with valuable tips, powerful insights, and a fresh perspective on high-level sailing. Stay with us until the end and share with us, what do you admire most about this master of the seas? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any more epic adventures on the water. Let's set sail now. Now let's step back to 1939, to a world still scarred by war, where a boy named Robin Knox Johnston was born in Putney, London. His early years weren't filled with tales of the sea or grand adventures, at least not yet. His father was away, serving in the Royal Engineers during World War II, leaving young Robin in a household shaped by absence, a common thread for kids of that era. But that void didn't break him, it built him. By 17, he wasn't chasing a quiet life on land. No, the ocean was calling, and he answered by joining the British Merchant Navy. There, on lifeboats rigged with masts and sails, he got his first taste of what it meant to wrestle with the wind and waves. It wasn't glamorous. Those boats were rough, utilitarian, but they taught him the raw essentials of sailing: balance, timing, grit. That's where the legend started to take root. Robin didn't stop at being a deckhand. After serving in India, he made a decision that would set the course for his life. He built a boat, a 32-foot ketch called Suhaili, right there in Bombay, with his brother and a friend. Picture it, 3 young guys hammering planks and rigging sails in the heat, dreaming of something bigger. They weren't just building a vessel, they were forging a future. When it was done, they sailed Suhaili all the way back to England, a journey that wasn't just a test of the boat but of their resolve. That trip wasn't in the history books yet, it was personal, a quiet prelude to the epic chapters ahead. But it showed something critical about Robin. He didn't wait for permission or perfect conditions. He saw a challenge, grabbed it by the horns, and made it his own. Fast forward to 1968, and the world's about to witness something unprecedented. The Sunday Times Golden Globe race hits the scene, a contest so insane it sounds like fiction. The rules? Sail around the globe, alone, without stopping. No resupply, no crew, no fancy gadgets, just you and your boat against the planet's wildest oceans. 9 men signed up, each with their own dreams and demons, but only one would make it back. That man was Robin Knox Johnston, and he was about to carve his name into the annals of maritime history. He set off from Falmouth, England, on June 14, 1968, aboard Suhaili. Let's be real here, this wasn't some cutting-edge racer. Suhaili was a sturdy, no-frills wooden boat, built for endurance, not headlines. People laughed. How could this little ketch survive the brutal Southern Ocean or the infamous Cape Horn? But Robin didn't care about the naysayers. He trusted his hands, his head, and his heart. That's what made him different. The race kicked off, and it was chaos from the jump. Water tanks got fouled, leaving him with barely drinkable sludge. The cabin took a beating from rogue waves, turning it into a soggy mess. The mast cracked under strain, threatening to snap. The autopilot gave out, forcing him to steer by hand for hours on end. Most would have radioed for help or limped back to shore. Not Robin. He patched up what he could, jury-rigged what he couldn't, and kept pushing forward. 2.5 months in, his VHF radio failed. He could hear crackling broadcasts from the outside world, but he couldn't reply. Imagine that, cut off, alone, with nothing but the sound of the sea and the occasional static of a voice you can't answer. That's isolation on a level most of us can't fathom. But the real test came on January 17, 1969, at Cape Horn, the graveyard of ships where the Atlantic and Pacific collide in a fury of wind and water. A storm rolled in, waves rising like mountains, winds howling at 60 knots. Suhaili was tossed around like a toy, and Robin was at the helm, soaked, exhausted, fighting to keep her upright. In the middle of that chaos, he tuned into a radio station, a Baptist broadcast of all things, talking about the Apollo program. "The Americans have sent a man to the moon," it said. There he was, battling nature's worst, while humanity touched the stars. His solitude mirrored those astronauts. Two kinds of explorers, pushing boundaries no one else dared to cross. For 312 days, 10.5 months, he battled the elements, his own doubts, and the creeping temptation to quit. But on April 22, 1969, he sailed back into Falmouth, the only finisher of the Golden Globe. The crowd erupted, the press swarmed, and Robin? He stepped ashore, handed over his logbook, and let his actions do the talking. He'd just become the first human to circumnavigate the globe solo, non-stop, a feat so monumental it's still the gold standard of sailing today. His book, A World of My Own, lays it all bare. The fear, the fixes, the quiet triumphs. It's not just a log, it's a window into a mind that refused to break. But here's the thing, Robin didn't hang up his sails after that. In 1994, he teamed up with Sir Peter Blake, another giant of the sea, to chase the Jules Verne Trophy, a record for the fastest crude circumnavigation. They did it in 74 days, 22 hours and 18 minutes, a blistering pace that earned them the title of Sailor of the Year from the International Sailing Federation. That wasn't solo, sure, but it showed Robin's versatility. He could lead a team just as fiercely as he could stand alone. Years later, in 2007, at 67 years old, he took on the Velux 5 Oceans race, another solo round-the-world challenge. He finished fourth, but get this, he was the oldest person ever to complete it. Most folks that age are kicking back with a cup of tea. Robin was out there wrestling the ocean. And in 2014, at 75, he sailed the Route du Rhum, a punishing transatlantic race, taking third in his class aboard Grey Power. The man doesn't slow down, he accelerates. What drove him? It wasn't just skill, though he had plenty of that. It was preparation, knowing his boat inside out, studying weather patterns, anticipating every curveball the sea could throw. It was resilience, turning setbacks like a busted lemmie into just another problem to solve. And it was a mindset that saw age as irrelevant. "The sea doesn't care how old you are," he once said. "It tests you the same." Every race added to his legend, proving he wasn't a one-hit wonder, but a force that kept evolving. So who is Robin Knox Johnston beyond the helm? He's a man with a life as complex as the oceans he sailed. He married Suzanne Singer in 1962, divorced in 1967, remarried her in 1972, and lost her to illness in 2003. They had a daughter, Sarah, born in Bombay while he was at sea, and he's a grandfather to 5. Florence, Oscar, Xavier, Ralph, and Valentine. Friends say the Golden Globe mellowed him. Before it, he could be brash, even aggressive. After, he carried a quiet confidence, like he'd faced the worst and come out stronger. But he's not perfect. In 2016, at 77, he hit a rough patch, caught driving with twice the legal alcohol limit, banned for 18 months. It was a stumble, a rare crack in the armor, but it humanizes him. He's not a statue, he's flesh and blood. Then came 2020, and the COVID-19 pandemic locked the world down. Robin, now in his 80s, spent 8 weeks alone in Portsmouth. "I'm not ready to go," he told reporters, tipping his hat to the NHS workers keeping the country afloat. He kept busy, baking a chicken for the first time, dismantling and rebuilding his stove, anything to stay sharp. It was the same trick he used on Suhaili. Give yourself a task, master it, move on. That's how you survive isolation, whether it's a lockdown or a year at sea. But Robin's story isn't just about what he did. It's about what he gave. In 1996, he founded the Clipper Round the World race, A wild idea born from a chat with climber Chris Bonington about Everest's cost. Why not make sailing affordable, he thought. He built 8 identical 60-foot yachts, charged half an Everest fee, and got 8,000 applications. In 20 years, over 5,000 people sailed. 40% had never touched a boat before. Think about that. Regular folks, teachers, accountants, dreamers, crossing oceans because Robin opened the door. He didn't hoard his passion. He handed it out like a gift. He's worn many hats. President of the Sail Training Association, trustee of maritime museums in Greenwich and Cornwall, where Suhaili now rests as a monument. He's written books like Seamanship, A Technical Gem, and Force of Nature, a raw look at his life. His words don't just teach, they inspire. He's been a patron, a leader, a mentor, turning his victories into a ladder for others to climb. That's the mark of a true icon, not just reaching the top, but pulling others up with you. What can we take from this master of the seas? Preparation is king. Know your tools, your terrain, your limits. Resilience is everything. When life breaks your autopilot, steer by hand. In isolation, it's not a cage, it's a forge. Robin baked bread at sea, memorized poetry, kept his mind alive. Try it next time you're stuck. Pick a skill, conquer it, build from there. That's how he turned 312 days of solitude into a triumph. Robin Knox Johnston is more than a sailor. He's a testament to what humans can do when they refuse to quit. From a kid in Putney to the first solo circumnavigator, from record setter to legacy maker, he's redefined the impossible. His story is about storms and victories, yes, but it's also about heart, the kind that beats through gales, through years, through every wave that tried to knock him down. So tell me, what hits you hardest? His grit at Cape Horn, his gift with the Clipper race, or that stubborn spark at 80 saying, "I've got more to do"? Drop it in the comments. I'm dying to know. This is the greatest sailor of all time, and his wake still cuts through the water today. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. The ocean's calling, and we're not done exploring. Fair winds, everyone.